We want to take time for our press, but it's a big schos to have with us a press from the Yeshiva in New York, and Maim Talmidim Harbe, and many of us are zeichet to be Talmidim as well through the Sfarim, that he was Mizak the Rabbim for Shmuel, that the Mistam is continuing to come out, all the Chalokim from Shmuzin and Divrei Torah and the Urim and the Parashas from Shmuel Birnbaum, Zatzal. And I know many people that's the go-to sefer for many things, and it's been a big Zikrei Rabbim that he was able to do, and it's a big schus to have him here with us. So Yishakar Rabbi Press, and Yishakar for giving time.
Mistake COVID. Just over here. It's the truth of it's a speak some daf yeton. And Mr. Dvas said he's an American, I think it was 1902 if I'm not mistaken. He was a Rav in Chicago. He came from Michigan, from Slutsk. Came to Chicago, and he was more of a builder chaver there. Wasn't and he upset the mamash at the room, and the mamash like had to leave town. At kadei kach. So he said he's a kvutza in the light. He said, "But that kvutza kind of shines in ganz America." He said, "I ain't kvutza in the light." He said, "I can turn over to ganz America." The Maisi, North Miami Beach, with the light can accomplish this is Parish State Taka. I'm opening up Yusha Rasaneiras, the Menorah. This is a Menorah. I'm saying, been in Menorah this week, and the Menorah State, that's a Menorah. That means when you light the Menorah, some of the pictures are really not so accurate because all the candles would all face in. The center one is the center, and the sides are all faced toward the middle. Why? So we have it's brought down the Shmuel bring down. The person wants to mashpia on others. He doesn't have to go put the shine light on them. He has to shine light on himself. If he'll be a ganz lichtig, if for him will be kule stark, with the ganz of fire, the mele it's going to be light everywhere else. The mele, the community, and the weiter and weiter. He says, he said, the Mokum Torah Alein has to be kulay with the ganze fire. Steht Taka by Purim. It's about Satayim, Mimach HaMekorish steht. Shpoch became Moch steht. Lashon Gemara says, Shpoch got weak, Kaviyochol. He couldn't, that's why he has such a gzeira. That's Satayim, we learn Torah about Satayim. That's Satayim, doesn't say they learn Torah. If they learn Torah, that's not making by Chiddush. Why is it Gzeir? Learn this. What's happening in the Bria? Teretz was a vada they learned. But when about Saltayim, came late, left early, busy, those yens. Says that couldn't bring Hatzolah. Solche Torah couldn't bring Hatzolah. That's it. After Torah, lemon bechizuk, the starkheit. Das can make machne shura by Samela. Let's speak of some one nekuda here. Only the Yomechveis. The Pashas HaMishkan seems to be Amol. It's not Mishkan. The Mishkan is not a history. Chas v'sholom. It was a mol geven. It was a mol v'zayin. No, but this is the zayin versus hayin that's today. That's here in front of us. Kashroch the Moshe Rabbeinu, falsely mikdash. So Moshe Rabbeinu said, "How can I do it? It's impossible." Hashemayim shmei Hashem lechal kalucha. Kosh Baruch is bigger than the ganze Welt. People who study astronomy, there are stars and planets and galaxies, billions, trillions light years away. We can't understand if you the grass guy from the bria. So how is a child to go ahead and take a little mokum smaller than this base medrash and make this a mokum mikdash? Hashem here, you dwell over here. Those nine mokum, right? That's a shaykh. That's a good kasha. I once heard I'm not sure someone says every time you can see him a shas, so you say last Mishnah says Ota Kodesh Baruch Hu Tzar Tzarak Shai Lamas. What's the right? Hashem the Handchol Oya V'Yesh. Awesome. I'm going to give them yesh. Yesh is match at 310. So kasha is up. The best of the lamas 310. I don't know. If shadiris, the Eretz Yisrael, hide the deer was what cost the deer chveis in Malchi Yisrael. Maybe 310 deers. Maybe it's a room. Where's the design? Best of the lamas. But Teretz is talk about the Rebbeinu Shalom. It's like you're emotional. It's collecting money chveis. It's a great tzveg chveis. But finding deer is the big, it's a big install thing today, right? A budget, 100 million, whatever it is. So what a great segvir says, I'll give 5. What's this 5? Million, obviously. It was 1,000, when we do 5,000, we'll come to 5,000. Million. So Kosh Baruch Hu sagt, Shai. Das ist Lomis, Rabbi say. So how's the Shaykh Kodesh Baruch Hu come? Now this is your new Mokum. They're going to dwell in a place that a few Kroshim, 28 Kroshim here, 10 Kroshim here, by 28 Kroshim, as 40, New York was 40 by 100 lot. It's aggressive. But Kaponim says, how's the Shaykh Zazach? So Moshe Shia Moidig Zach. He says, you're right. The world is not big enough for Baruch Shalom. Baruch Shalom is bigger than the grass in the world. It's called Hamokim. But that's what Kodesh Baruch Hu made. But what we make, what a person himself goes is Koyach HaBchira, and he takes off a Mokim, and he says, those are Mokim that I want the Baruch Shalom to dwell. I'm making a Hevdel. I'm away from the Olam Hazav and the Olam Agashmi, and I'm making a Mokim over here to Baruch Shalom. He says, those is aggressive Kveit Shamayim, those is aggressive for the ganze Bria. The Gemara says himself, the Ksubas Tafhei, Gedoyle Masid Tzadikim, Mimaisa Shamayim Varetz. It's a shade Gemara. It says, Masha Varetz, after you other Tav Chesed, we talk about Shamayim, one hand. Mikdash, Kani Yodechas, two hands. It's Gresa, the Mikdash, das is Gresa Kveit Shamayim for the ganze Bria. Basically, the Bria is a Sach Kveit Shamayim. Think about the Bria, the Kveit Shamayim the Bria has, right? The Man Shalem. Think about a person. That's the heart beat. Heart is beating every second from the person from Yotzim Rechem Imoy, right? That's Yom Acharon. It's not plugged in anywhere. There's no charging station. There's no this. It says Aus. Rabbi Nishlam says Aus. Nisam and Nisam. I'll come to Shim at the house. Koshte. See the bria. It's Chesed Ani and Shia. You can plant the seed in the ground. Come those colorful, beautiful Paris. Culminating Paris. But aggressive for them. It's Ma'aseh Tzadikim. Someone goes ahead and makes them Kodesh Baruch Hu. That's aggressive for them. There's aggressive Kveit Shamayim. You see Moedik Gezach. You see Taka that state we just read in Parshas Mishpatim last week, 2 weeks ago, in Yisro. State Moshe Nigash El Harofel Asher Sham Holikin. Moshe Rabbeinu walked into the Harofel. Kodesh Baruch Hu came down in a cloud of glory. And Moshe Rabbeinu, Hashem said, Moshe, he walked into the Harofel. But Rashi, a pasuk at the end of Pikudei says that when the Onan was shoichen Hagabe HaMishkan, Moshe couldn't walk in. Couldn't walk into the Mishkan. Mishkan was awful, and he couldn't even walk into the Mishkan. To psukim at the end of Pikudei. What's Takib Shad? He couldn't walk, and he was able to walk into Harafah. What's Takib Shad? There's all beside. The Harafah Kodesh Baruch Hu made. That's the event for Kodesh Baruch Hu. That's when Kedusha Kodesh Baruch Hu. Hashem brought that. That he could walk into. But we made the Kedusha from the Mishkan. And I said, Broza, now Roistik Hashois Hashchina, even Moshe couldn't walk into it. He had to stand, even it wasn't even in the Rav, it was on the Mishkan. He had to wait outside of Baisai. And so Moedik Gezach also, noch a chiluk. It's also the Mir Shiva says, he says, noch a chiluk, he says, it's interessant that the Har Sinai, after Kodesh Baruch Hu, after Kabbalah Satar, Meshach, Yavon Yamot Bahar, you can go on the mountain, you can go hide, you can go play catch in Har Sinai, and there's no problem, take pictures. The Chas Yishon walk into Mokum HaMikdash, it's a Yissa, Rachman Litzlan. That's Kitchulas Alavi. Once we brought us our Kedusha there, the Kedusha can't go where Rabbi say. That's the Koyach what a mensch does. The Koyach what a person does is Oyin V'Noyer. What's that Pshat? What's looking at them? What's looking at them? Rabbi say. The answer is very simple. A person has to first understand what's the Gabus Adam to understand what we're talking about. The out of the Slabodka, with limited time, is trying to just, the out of the Slabodka is Ikish Shmuz always was Gabus Adam. Right? Gabus Adam. Why are you talking about Gabus Adam? Why is Ikish Shmuz Gabus Adam? Gabus Amidus, Gabus Shemayim. What's the Gabus Adam? A man doesn't understand what he is. Can't go in a shofter. He can do nothing in life. You can't accomplish anything. You don't understand the koiches you have. Everyone knows Aldo Sabbatke, the morning of Shavuos every year, make an announcement. He would say, Rabbi Sai, the Ganze Bria, he says, it's Kedai for Ein Baruch Baruch Shemoy. And 1,000 times greater is an Amen, 1,000 times greater is 1,000 times greater is a word from Torah. What's looking them? Think about it. Average person yesterday, right, he's making savings. Why? He says he wants to eventually retire, right? No matter what age or place. Some people never retire. But he wants to retire. He needs. How many years are you going to retire for? The average person, 90, 100. Take steps on news. They found people living 150 steps later to find if they found people living depends on his age. So for a certain amount of years, the person is working and putting away, and he's busy trying to manage, track his investments, see how it's doing. Sehr busy. But think about it, by say, those are the Yom Shei Yesh Mem Chayfetz. Now is the time when the store is open, when the business is going. You can't do anything anymore. That's it. There's no sign anymore. So how's it shy for a person? The whole tafka of Bria is as to put away for Nitzchias. How long is Nitzchias for? It's not from age 65 until 91, if I say. Nitzchias is la'ol me'olamim. Person has to be put away for himself. Nishkan millions and Nishkan billions. You're talking about infinite amount. How's it shy for these 3 years to do it? It says a person would realize how great he is. And how great it is, unfortunately, Torah, what he could accomplish. He can understand how it can last. A person understands the koiches. The Rebbe used to always say that he said the reason why something became of me was because I had in front of me the Mustugah from Kivega. That was my dream life. I want to be Kivega, he said. On them, he said nothing would came of me. They had a musug of godless. Of what's given from a mensch, how mensch could stay. So Moed Gezach, the whole Binyan HaMikdash, Rashi brings down that we said, he says, on the Veikot Shecha, we want to build a Mikdash. We said, on the Veikot Shecha, Loshan Nove. What was it afterwards? Shamam Yigozin, Chelches Rish Baloshes, and Alufei Edom, Eli Moyev. Everyone got angry, upset, and worried in this. So Rashi Taka asks over there, and there's Yoshua, what's that? What did they get so angry about? We weren't allowed to fight Moyev. Altotzes Moyev. We couldn't fight Edom either. Altotzes Edom. So what were they so nervous? What were they so? What was it? You go. Chilochaz has to follow. It's like Mir Shiva, but it's like Hamoy de Gezach. He says they couldn't understand the Kfoid and Shal Yisrael explains the Taishan what Rashi means. What state in Rashi though? That here yesterday we were singing together Chveis in Mitzrayim 200 years. We were singing together Chveis in Yankee Stadium, right? We both had Chveis the same front seat and whatever was going on. Shiva the one said he used to think Gashmis was in America. They told him that the American not just people go to the stadium 4 or 5 hours, but no, then they spend the whole day talking about it. These special stations and then the news, television, radio, they talk about the ganze dogs, that they get them, that they. He says, I always thought, he says, those are Gashmis? He says, it's not Gashmis. So the guy grew up, he says, we just sat yesterday together, and they came to Hazama Drega to make a mokim for Shechina. They can have a Kodesh Baruch Hu come down to live with them. Mamish mokim, Mikdashim Koni Adecha. That they couldn't be soivel. She says, that's not a pshat. Why? She says, he's fine, the Chiloinim have been aggressive anymore. It says, the sin of an Amor, it says, aggressive sin for the Goy. Why? Why they hate this one of the Goy? I never understood why talking. He says, because they have in the Neshama, they realize how great a person can be. They realize what's going for a mensch, and they see us, and they see how great we're becoming. And you leave them and look, they're in the dust, they blind with nothing. The Mikdash itself is the Gres the Raya. They can make a Macham HaShoyas HaShechina. It sounds like we started before. We said it's a Moed Gezach, it's a Moed historical building, beautiful. But Torah says the Mikdash is here, Rabbi say. So the Gemara and Avches and Brachis, Miyoim Shechore Beis HaMikdash and Hakadosh Baruch Hu Dalam Shocha Bavad. Shenemar Oyev Hashem Mishkan. Hashem loves that. This is Da'ar Amis. This is the Mokim Fashoyas Hashchina. This is the Mikdash Hain. The Mikdash, the Shechina was on top of the meat of Yaakov Avinu state. As Chilat Yitzui Allah, that as given the Oren Kodesh for the Torah. The Torah requires an Oren Kodesh. First, Tzivu in this week's Parsha, sees the Oren. Torah requires an Oren. The Oren is not just the Oren in the Mishkan. The Talmud Chochem is them as Oren, Rabbi say. Masani Bavi Tepshur instead of Talmud Chochem, because the Ikkem Mokim with Torah Shal Pen is Welt is the Talmud Chochem. God, the only reason we have all the Svarim chunks and all the Svarim is because Shechas HaTorah, we're going to forget the Sas Hashem, we're in the mind of the Samach and Gittin. But the emes says when Hashem gave turn Hasina, he's going Moshe, Yeshua is going Yeshua Alein when the Sefer Torah. Like when a crucial Sefer Torah, as ever seen of the Talmud Chochem. That's like a pshat. That's the Umakam Mikdash. Nefesh HaChaim and the Roistig Gezach. She Nefesh HaChaim. Shechandi b'soichem peimus Chazal b'soichol lenem b'soichol echad v'echad. That a person has to make himself into a mokim v'ashoyas Hashchina. The Shechin, that's your tafkid Chaim, to make yourself a mokim that Hashem dwells by you. Nicht on the Mikdash Ma'at from your house, nicht on the Meshrav and Beis HaKnesses, nicht on the Meshrav and Beis HaMedrash, nicht on the Hashem Alocha, but the Mensch Alein can sein a mokim v'ashoyas Hashchina. The Shechina is with the person. It's towards that person. It's a G'meidik the person has to come to the Madrega. But these are the Parshas HaMishkan, is the Parshas Rabban Reitztake. What's the Shaykhs Chazal say? We said Nasiv and Nishma.